Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to graph linear functions to find solutions. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so one common way to solve a system of equations, which is two or more equations put together, is to graph them. And you'll notice here that we have this bracket, and this bracket really just means that this problem is a system of equations. So these two equations are going to go together and we're going to find the point where the solution is located, so where those two lines cross. And since these are both just slope equations, we're just going to graph them as slope equations. So our first equation is y equals negative 3x minus 2. I know that my beginning point is at 0, negative 2. So I'm going to put my dot there. And then my slope is negative 3 over 1. So I'm going to rise negative 3 and run 1. And I'm going to do this as many times as possible to get as many points as possible. Now, before we might have only done these 3 points and called it good, but we really need to continue going the opposite direction. So instead of just going down 3 into the right one, I'm also going to go up 3 and left 1 as many times as I can. And then I'm going to connect my dots. Please do not forget your arrows. They're super important. All right, now I'm going to graph my next problem, which is y equals 4x plus 5. So my beginning point is at 0, 5. So I'm going to put a dot there. And then my slope is 4 over 1. So I'm going to rise 4 and run 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, because I need to have my line going both ways as accurately as possible, I'm going to go down 4 and left 1 as well. And connect my dots. Now my solution is the point where both of my lines intersect each other, which happens to be right here. So my solution for this problem is going to be negative 1, 1. Let's look at another problem. All right, so this time we have y equals negative x plus 1 and x equals 4. So let's graph that first one first. Y equals negative x plus 1. I know my beginning point is at 0, 1, and my slope is negative 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1 as many times as possible, and then I'm going to also go up 1 and right 1 as many times as possible. And connect our dots. All right, my next graph is at x equals 4. And this one might be a little bit confusing because there's no y value in there, which means that there's no slope. Our slope is undefined. We just care about where the values of x are 4. And this first point here is always the easiest one for people to find, and then after that they get really confused. It doesn't matter what y equals, we just care where x is 4. So as it turns out, x is 4 right there. X is 4 way up there. X is 4 way down there. All of these places are the spots where x is 4. So our line just looks like that. And so in order to find our solution, we find where those two lines cross. It happens to be right at the point 4, negative 3. Let's look at one more. All right, so this time you're going to notice that that first equation is not in slope-intercept form. It's in standard form. So we need to first change it into slope-intercept form so we can actually graph it. So remember that we need to add 4x to both sides and then divide everything by 8. And if you can reduce, always reduce that slope. So our negative 4x plus 8y equals 16 equation turns into y equals 1/2 x plus 2. That's what I'm going to graph because that's slope-intercept form. I know it really well. My beginning point is at 0, 2. My slope is positive 1/2, so I'm going to rise 1, run 2. And then I'm going to go the exact opposite. So instead of up and right, I'm going to go down and left. And connect my dots. Or try to connect my dots. All right, my other equation is y equals negative 1. So this is where all of my y values are at negative 1. Again, this first one is always really easy for people to find, and then after that they get real confused. I don't care what x is, just show me where y is negative 1. Y is negative 1 over here. Y is negative 1 over here. Y is negative 1 over here. Connect your dots. Because y is at negative 1 at all of those places in between. Again, we're going to find that point where they intersect, which is right here. So my solution for this problem is going to be negative 6, negative 1. And that's solving systems by graphing. So until next time, I'll see you later. Love you, bye.